everyone, my name is Jasmine Gooch, and today I'll be reading to you all Love by Matthew Dickman. We fall in love at weddings and auctions, over glasses of wine in Italian restaurants, where plastic grapes hang on the lattes. Our bodies thrive in the checkout line, bookstores, the bus stop, and we can't keep our hands off each other until we can. So we turn to rubber masks and handcuffs, falling in love again. We go to movies and sit in the air-conditioned dark with strangers who are in love, with heroes like Peter Parker, who loves a girl he can't have, because he loves saving the world in red and blue tights, more than he would love to have her ankles wrapped around his waist or his tongue between her legs. While we watch films in which famous people play famous people who experience pain, the boy who sold us popcorn loves the girl who sold us our tickets, and stares at the runs in her stockings every night, even though she is in love with the skinny kid who sells her cigarettes at the 7-Eleven. And if the world had any compassion, it would let the two of them pass the Marlboro light back and forth until their fingers eventually touch, their mouths sucking and blowing. If the world knew how the light bulb loved the socket, then we would all be better off. We could all dive head first into the sticky part. We could make sweat a religion. We could light a candle and praise the holiness of smelling. Imagine standing beneath the Gothic archways of feet and the gilded bowls of armpits. Who doesn't want to kneel down and pray before the altar of the mouth? For my part, I'm going to stop right here, on this dark night, on this country road, where country songs come from, and kiss her, this woman below the trees, which are below the stars, which are below desire. There's a music to it. I can hear it. Johnny Cash, Biggie Smalls, Johann Sebastian Bach. I don't care what they say. I love you, the way my mouth loves teeth. The way a boy I know would risk it all for a purple dinosaur, who truth be told loved him. There is no accounting for it. In fact, there are not even any accountants. Balancing the books of love, measuring the heart's distance and speed. In the Midwest, for instance, there are fields of corn madly in love with the scarecrow, his potato-sack head and straw body, standing among the dog-eared stalks, his arms stretched out like a farm Christ full of love. Turning on the radio, I know how much AM loves FM. It's the same way my mother loved Elvis, whose hips all young girls love, sitting around the television in poodle skirts and bobby socks, watching him move across the screen like something even sex dreamed of having. He loved me tender for so many years that I was born after a long night of Black Russians and canasta, while Jailhouse Rock rocked. I love the way my screen door, if it isn't latched shut, will fling itself open to the wind. How the clouds above me look like animals covered in milk. And I'm not the only one. Stamps love envelopes. The licking proves it. Just look at my dog, who obviously loves himself with an intensity no human being could sustain. Though you can't say we don't try. The S&M goddess who brings her husband to the mall, dressed in a leather jumper, leading him through the food court by a leash. The baker who scores his wife's name into the thin skin of the pumpernickel before peeling it into the oven. Once, a baby lizard loved me so completely he moved into my apartment, but died of hunger. I was living there with a girl who loved to say the word shuttlecock. She would call me at work and whisper shuttlecock into my ear, which loved it. The blast off of the first word sending the penis into space. Not that I ever imagined my clock being a spaceship, though sometimes men are like astronauts, orbiting the hot planets of women, amazed that they have traveled so far, wanting to land, wanting to document the first walk, the first moan, but never truly understanding what has brought them there. Love is an elevator. Love in the backseat of your parents' Chevette. Love going to college, cutting your hair, reading class, and sleeping with other girls. Sometimes love is lying across the bed, but it might not be yours. And sometimes it travels into a hostile territory where it's hardly recognizable, but there's all the same. I know a man who loves Tank so much he wishes he had one to pick up the groceries, drive his wife to work, drop his daughter off at school with her little mermaid lunchbox, a note hidden inside next to the apple, folded with a love that can be translated into any language. I hope you do not suffer. So this was a very long poem. My first reaction to the poem is that there are many different types of love. Love can come in various shapes, forms, sizes, and basically at any moment. Usually love comes at the most unexpected time. The author describes love in some really strange forms that I've never thought of. For example, he says he loves the way a screen door, if it isn't locked shut, will fling itself open to the wind. I feel like the author definition of love is anything that gives him a sense of sensation. I personally think that the definition of love is that a true love that you have for like a family member, a friend, or the love that my parents share. What the author must be focusing in on throughout this poem is that anyone can have love for anything, for someone, or for any object. As long as this object, person, or thing makes them feel a certain way or brings a sense of joy or happiness to their life, that's true love. You can have love for even animals, people, and even yourself. Whatever it is that you love, as long as you feel a special way, you have love, according to the author. Love can even exist in between two objects. For example, the author describes a stamp as loving the envelope, and it's proved by the licking process. So I'm guessing whenever you lick a stamp, we'll lick an envelope and then close it shut, that's a form of love because everything is connected together. I feel like the author is showing that love basically deals with a type of connection. At the end of the poem, the author ends by saying, love can be translated into any language. I hope you do not suffer. I feel like he's kind of setting everyone up and letting them know that whenever you do love someone, something, or an object, you can always be set up for failure. Love doesn't always last. Love isn't always what you expect it to be. So basically, I feel like the author is warning you. I hope you do not suffer whenever you do find love, because so many people oftentimes get hurt by all these different relationships or different love for men or girls, whatever it may be. So I feel like the poem was very effective, but it was also confusing. Overall, I feel like it was a good poem, and that love can be found anywhere. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.